Hello traders, this is Jim Comiskey, coming to you live on Friday the March 2nd. It's a little, we're coming up on about 2:30 in the afternoon. I figured I'd come out and post another one for you. For the weekend, there is and was and will be so much to talk about. Um, what I'm going to try and do, when things get busy and stuff, I apologize in advance. I don't have time to do this. Okay, having said that, I truly enjoy doing this. I think you guys know that. By the way, I'm loving the comments that you are leaving. I don't have them in front of me, and the way this software is set up, I can't go to talk to see them. Okay, but I forget who it was that had an excellent question about, if the U.S. gets downgraded again, is that priced in, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Excellent question. Seriously, that's the kind of stuff I'm looking for. Or if you want to just joke around, leave the, whatever. Open to all comers. But yeah, what I said to the gentleman was, as long as the U.S. has the printing press, the impact of a ratings downgrade will still be minimal. Okay, that just paints the Fed further into the corner because if they go to raise rates or if they have to raise rates, imagine what that's going to do to all the added debt that Obama, Bush, etc. have accumulated, on the United States' books. It's absolutely frightening. Speaking of debt, and I'll get there in a second. Yeah, okay. There are a couple things that I wanted to touch base, and then let you guys go. You have a good weekend. First of all, this is written by a woman named Kathy Christoff, CBS Interactive. Okay. Inflation, not as low as you think. Forget the modest 3.1% rise in the CPI, the government's widely used measure of inflation. Everyday prices are up some 8% over the past year, according to the American Institute for Economic Research. All right, the AIER focuses on what Americans typically purchase on a daily basis, such as food, gasoline, childcare, prescription drugs, phone and television service, and various other household items. But now, if that's not realistic, are you kidding me? Um, by the way, I'm just going to cut in here real quick. I read a study this morning, actually, that if CPI, rather than the 3.1, if CPI was actually measured the way it was from like 1959 to 1980, inflation would be north of 9%. Okay, on a year by year, on an annualized basis. All right, so this dovetails beautifully with that. For those of you that have been following me, and I don't know, I did it maybe for a couple of years over at, I'm just going to call it Lynn Waldock going forward at MF Global. I used to tell you, right? Okay, so the Fed factors out food and energy. Now, I don't know, you're probably like me, but 8 times out of 10, you take your wallet out of your back pocket, or ladies, your wallet out of your purse. What are you spending? What are you buying? Okay, wait for it. Food and energy, entertainment. Okay, but food and energy in particular. Okay, and the Fed, in their great unknowing/knowing, chooses to factor that out. My thinking is that it prevents the government from having to pay higher COLA adjustments as time goes on to Social Security recipients. But that's my humble opinion. Anyways, I'm going to finish with this. Okay, the AIER, again, that's the American Institute for Economic Research, maintain that this index better measures the real-world impact of price changes, particularly for people on a budget. And largely as a result of the recent run-up in gas prices, this everyday price index, which is what they call it, the EPI, that's beautiful, suggests that Americans are being pinched far more tightly than the official inflation measure would have you believe. Awesome. All right, they go to break down some components here. Biggest factor, obviously, fuel, okay, and transport costs, up 21.6% from last year. Okay, food, up 3.6, which I think should be higher, but prescription drugs up 4.2, tobacco up 3.4, all respectively. Okay, I just wanted to bounce that one off you. Okay, with regard, I'm going to take a very, very complex situation, and in the interest of the clock, I'm just going to touch base. I'll pick it up again Monday afternoon with this particular topic, okay? Austerity measures only lead to more bailouts. So who's going to bail out the EC when it goes bust? Which it will. It's inevitable. Sorry, Bernard, but it's inevitable. Okay, this is written courtesy of Phoenix Capital Research, carried on Zero Hedge. I'll read the highlights again in the interest of the clock, okay? The idea that somehow imposing austerity measures will work on the pigs, okay? Portugal, Italy, Ireland, Greece, and Spain, which are already watching their economies go down the tubes, is outright insane. These countries are broke. Trimming spending here and there won't do anything. When you're sporting debt to GDP levels over 160%. Right. Let's consider Greece, just Greece, for a moment. All right, their age demographics, etc. Greece's fertility rate is 1.3 children per woman. Okay, this is nearly a full child below the replacement rate. That's the number of children needed to maintain the current population. All right, Greece's population of 65 and over has soared from 11% in 1970 to 24% in 2010. All right, a quarter of the population over 65. And that's coming to a country near you, right here, the United States. Their population over 65 will be north of 33% by 2050. Their working population also is forecasted to decline 20% over the same time period. Wow. Bad demographics. As if this were bad enough, the unemployment rate for Greeks aged 15 to 24 is 40%. 40%. If you recall yesterday, the rate for the entire Eurozone is the highest it's been since 97. It was 10.7%. All right. For Greeks aged 24 to 34, it's 22%. All right. Small wonder that in a recent poll, 7 out of 10 young Greeks want to work abroad, and 4 out of 10 are actively seeking work outside of Greece. All right, so the EC, all right, here, the first bailout, 110 billion euro in 2010. Okay, I mean, literally, they've thrown close to $1 trillion at the whole situation, not just Greece, but Spain, Italy, et cetera, et cetera. So seriously, the reality is that Greece needs a complete massive debt restructuring to the tune of bondholders taking a 70% haircut across the board. All right, now, again, I'm just going to sum it up. Okay, if you've been watching me, throughout the months and years, whatever, you know that I'm a firm believer that this isn't a bailout of the Greeks. Okay, your boots on the ground, Greek. This is a bailout of the lenders that lent money, that threw money down a black hole that is Greece. All right, Greece's political powers that be, basically. With Goldman Sachs' help, they kind of weaseled their way into the union to begin with. Okay, that's a story for another day. All right, but their politicians have increasingly promised, and this has happened so much right here in the state of Illinois. The politicians get in bed with the unions. Okay, they guarantee them ever increasing pensions. Okay, and very low retirement ages. And so it's in essence, it's setting up almost like, I'm going to use this term loosely. All right, don't run with this too much. Class warfare. You've got the public class. Okay, your public workers against your private workers, because your private workers are paying for those public workers. Public workers are not reciprocating. All right, therefore, as this is why I went through the demographics, as more and more people are retired and less people are working, that is a recipe for fiscal blow-up, disaster, no question about it. But in my humble opinion, the only solution that can possibly happen here, well, there's two, all right, and I'm going to go quick. The Greeks could basically just say bye-bye and leave the union, which is what they probably will do. If they do that, bring back the drachma, they're going to have a period of massive runaway inflation. They can deal with that. But eventually those debts are going to be, they'll just walk away, like Brazil did, like Argentina did, not too long ago. And now look at those economies. Rather than impose austerity programs, on 24-year-olds who haven't even had a start in this world yet, in the working world. All right. My young friend Teddy is telling me to wrap it up, so I'm going to wrap it up.
Happy note, we got the Bulls playing tonight. Derrick Rose.
Who did play?
Cavs.
Oh, okay. I've been told to tell you all that Chicago Bulls are playing the Cleveland Cavaliers tonight, and it should be a good game. Go D Rose. Anyways, have yourself a wonderful weekend. Thanks for jumping back on board, following me. I really appreciate it. And let's kind of learn this stuff together, because I've been doing this a great many years, north of 25. I won't tell you exactly how many. Okay, but I'm a firm believer that you learn something new every day. Okay, if you don't, you might as well be dead. Okay, but if you'd like to leave comments, please feel free to do so. Or I don't have it memorized yet. You can call me on my toll-free 888-935-7979, or email me at jim.comiskey@archerfinancials, plural.com. Okay, archerfinancials.com. Excuse me. Have yourself a wonderful weekend, and look forward to chatting with you on Monday. Thanks. Take care.